Are you ready for some tea? Some wedding tea? Well, it's Desiree here, and I'm so excited to see you. Allow me to sit this down. Do I have a wonderful, juicy story for you today? But before we begin, I need to share something with you. You probably have noticed that I had to take a little bit of time off. Well, my best friend, my business manager, my cheerleader, the person, the man that I've loved most in the world, my daddy, passed in late June. And it's been very difficult for me. It still is, actually. But I felt it was time to come back. But I needed to take that time off to grieve, of course, to be with my family, and just really deal with my physical health, my mental health, and my spiritual health. I will say, I am not by any means 100%, but I am getting better. And I felt it was time to come back to telling these stories because I absolutely do love sharing these hot mess stories with you because this really did happen. So let's get going. This story we're going to call Missing Envelopes. This was another one of our month of couples, or event management, as we also like to say in this industry. Let me say this, everything was going wonderful. Any questions I asked, any information I needed, all went well. Even the final walkthrough, the rehearsal, when I tell you everything was great. You could not have told me that this was going to actually be a wedding tea story. Anywho, wedding day comes for this couple. Oh, I forgot to mention, this is a venue downtown, a office type building that has a restaurant inside that during the weekend they rent out as an event space. And it's quite unique because there's a really, really cool fountain there. You might, if you live in the Chicagoland area, you might know the location I'm talking about. They also had a great team of vendors, no issues, okay? The wedding day went off smoothly. The vendor team was on point. Ceremony started on time. Reception was wonderful. Dinner was delicious. Couple, family, and friends, they danced all night, and they left at the end of the evening with those words that I always love to hear. We couldn't have done this without you. So they were happy. I'm like, okay, cool. I could go home, take a nice bath, and go to sleep, and hey, all is well with the world. They went on about their business. I don't know what they did on wedding night, but hey, I digress on that one. The next day, I happened to be taking my daughter on her first college tour visit. My daughter, Deja Dene, the business name. We were on a college tour, and as we were leaving campus and heading back to Chicago, I received a call from the couple. Now, I'm not worried because, again, they ended the night happy. They told us we did a wonderful job. They were appreciative, et cetera, et cetera. So I thought they were calling to give thanks again, or maybe ask if we had misplaced something or they couldn't find it and they needed a little direction. I wasn't concerned by any means. I answered the phone and I'm like, hey, Mr. and Mrs. blah, blah, blah. Congratulations. So happy for you. How may I help you? Well, the conversation started off really nice, but then they go in to ask me, did you by chance misplace any of our wedding envelopes? Your what? She asked, did I by chance take home any of her wedding envelopes, those wedding gift envelopes? Did I place them in my bag by mistake, or had someone given me something at the end of the night and I accidentally walked out the door with it? Well, I thought that was actually a very odd question. I proceeded to let her know, no, I do not have any of your wedding envelopes. She says, well, can you call your assistants and ask them, do they by chance have them in their bags? We're looking for 7. Let me say that again. They were looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Odd number, literally. They were looking for 7 envelopes and they wanted to know, did me or my staff leave that night with them? So I'm driving. So I was like, okay, let me call you back in a few moments. I'm reflecting on the night, and I know how this venue works. I've worked at this venue many times. During a point within the reception, the card box is taken off of the gift table and placed inside of a room. The only people who have access to this room is the venue manager, myself, my team, I would say, and the couple and any other persons they designate to be able to go into this room. This room is locked, so we have to find the venue manager at all times in order to go into that space. The room is glass, it's open, but again, it's locked, okay? And it also has a camera inside of this restaurant space. So the card box was placed inside of that room midway through the reception. I cannot remember 100%, but there are probably, which is normal, 2 or 3 guests who forgot to give cards while the card box is out. They tend to find the planner or my assistant, and we go find the venue manager and can literally go into that space and put those cards into the box. At the end of the evening, okay, we find the venue manager, and there's always 2 of us with the card box. I'll tell any planners that never handle that card box by yourself. Always have someone with you because you might get one of these phone calls. Anyways, myself and an assistant, we take the card box and we take it across the hall, literally across the hall into the bridal suite, or the suite in which the couple had gotten dressed, the bride had gotten dressed. We placed it on the table. I remember grabbing the groom and saying, hey, we've taken your card box out. The card box is here. He says, okay, thank you, blah, blah, blah. We helped gather some other things, letting them know these are your wedding inventory items, et cetera, et cetera. Again, your card box is here. Here are all these other items. You need to take these home at the end of the evening. And we departed. So I shared this with the couple once I called them back, all right? And they were still a bit perplexed. They said that they are missing 7 cards. I said, well, first of all, how do you know there are 7 cards that are missing? She proceeded to let me know that there was a table inside of their reception that had all of their coworkers, or let me rephrase that, her coworkers sitting at that table, a table of 10, a 10 top. And 7 of those people did not give them cards. So 7 of the 10 people at your coworker table did not give you a gift, is what you're sharing with me. Of course, I didn't say that like that to her, but that's what I'm thinking in my mind. She's like, yeah, 7. I was like, okay, how do you know this? Well, seems as though what most people do on their wedding night, this couple did not do. They went back to their hotel room and they literally opened their card box and started logging the gifts, as, I don't know, couples do, I guess. I didn't think they did that on wedding night, but again, I'm gonna leave that right there. And they discovered that those 7 guests didn't give them gifts, and they just knew they were going to give them a gift. They just knew that they had given them something, an envelope, a gift card, some cash, or whatever it was, but they didn't receive anything. And that just seemed odd to her because they were her coworkers. And so she wanted to call us and ask us, did we have these cards? Well, I'm like, no, we don't have them. I've also checked with my assistants. They don't have anything. I left it at that. I got off the phone. She calls me back the next day. She's a bit irate at this point. Kind of, snappy, a little tone in her voice, a little attitude. And I'm like, okay, hold on. I'm going to need you to calm down a little bit. We don't have your cards. She says, well, I don't understand because you're the only one who had access to this space and we are missing 7 cards. These guests did not give us gifts, and I have to assume that you or your staff took something home with you and just can't seem to locate it. So how do we rectify this situation? Oh, well, excuse me. What do you mean, how do we rectify this situation? I says, do you know how much was in those envelopes? And she says, well, no, I don't. But I have to assume, you have to assume what? You have to assume that they gave you what, $100 or $500, $25? You're going to assume a price tag for each envelope Share that with me and ask me how I am going to rectify that situation. She pretty much is like, yeah, it's your responsibility. You were handling everything at the end of the night, and so we're missing envelopes, so something needs to be done about that. So, how do you think Desiree handled that one? Let's pause right there.
I had to call my daddy that day because she was about to get told.
Well, before you accuse the DE team any further on taking your wedding gift cards, I'm going to need you to understand our policy within the contract, okay? And this is something that all planners should have in their contract. We are not responsible for watching your wedding gifts, okay? You need to assign someone to that task. True enough, we went into the space and we took the card box. We took the card box, two of us, and brought it literally across the hall to your wedding room and told your groom who was there that this is your card box along with these other items. We're not responsible for anything that is missing in this card box or that you assume is missing from this card box. So I suggested to her, why don't you give those 7 guests a call and ask them how much did they place in those envelopes and get back to me. The bride, during this 2-day process, had no problem calling. But on that 3rd day, I received an email because she must have did what I asked. She contacted those 7 guests. Guess what, y'all? They didn't give her shh. Yeah, her co-workers didn't give her a damn thing on their wedding day. They said they were going to hook her up later. So you assumed that because they came to your wedding, that those 7 people who now we know ate for free, danced for free, drank for free, partied for free, didn't give you anything. And because you felt some kind of way about it, you decided to call us and assume we took 7 cards and was going to literally come up with some stupid number for me to give you some money back. Stop playing with me. A wedding is a time of excitement, enjoyment as you and your partner embark on a new journey together, and you want to share that with your family and friends. But if you're having this party, this celebration because you think you're going to become rich, let me suggest you don't do it. But anyways, until next time, I'll see you later with more wedding tea.